Hey everyone, it's Infinity Gamer and welcome to another news update. Now I'm really excited for this one because there's been some really big updates coming from Corvus Belli and I just want to run through them as quickly as possible so that you can get your fix of Infinity news as quickly as possible. So let's not delay, let's jump into the first couple. So the first ones that I want to talk about are some new models that we've got coming that Corvus Belli have teased us with, or shown us actually full once. They're supposed to be coming 25th of February is what I've got here, and let's start to take a look at them now. We have the female Yuan one. Now I really like this one. Cool sculpt. I didn't actually realise that they came in non-fat versions. So yeah, great to see this one. Skinnier, more diverse. It turns out, and I learned this from one of my friends, that Yuan-Yuans are Chinese mercenaries. So it's kind of like a generic term for these group of bandits that are guns for hire, pretty much. So yeah, there's actually quite a lot of scope to do different things with them, and this is a clear indication of that. We've then got the Vargar Maximum Security team with Wild Parrot, which are perfect for Winter 4. These sculpts look really cool. I'm super happy with these. Don't know if I'm going to add them to my Pano collection yet, but really like them. They're fantastic. Then we have the Pano Action Pack, which is great for Code 1 players looking to play Pano. What you're basically getting is the Coldstrom half of Pano plus the Beyond Coldstrom Pano half, but just all in one bundle, really. So very effective way of getting into Pano and getting everything, and especially if you miss Coldstrom and Beyond Coldstrom but you want to get into Pano, this is the set for you. Then we have the Shaolin Warrior Monk. This is an amazing design. I think it's fantastic, and I think Corvus Belli have done a great job of combining two things with this, dynamic and practical. It's all well and good having models with swords and arms and limbs everywhere, but as soon as you're trying to put them up against the wall or squeeze them through a gap, you're bound to get caught on something. This, dynamic, fantastic, but practical. Doesn't take up more space than it needs. This is a great looking sculpt. The only thing I wish Corvus Belli would do is put warbands in blisters of 3 also. All too often, Varangians, these guys, blisters of 1, they're warbands. They're like 12 points each, 11 points each. You're going to be taking a couple of them. They're great for running up and suiciding. Please put them in blisters of at least 2, maybe 3. That would be lovely. Thank you so much. And then we've got the Yujing Action Pack, which is exactly the same story as what we've just spoken about with the Pan-O Action Pack, in that it is the Coldstrom half of Yujing and Beyond Coldstrom, but in one handy-to-grab action pack. Fantastic value for money. We then have the Malignos Hacker, which is a nice addition to any combined or Shazvasti army. Lovely sculpt again. There was a Malignos in Wildfire or Beyond Wildfire. I can't quite remember where mine came from. One of the two. But it's always nice to get a more WYSIWYG kind of version. I, again, do wish Corvus Belli would release stuff that doesn't even have one model yet before they do variants of others. But there's clearly logic to their thinking. Then we have Fuzzbots. Fuzzbots, which are such a cute sculpt. I feel a million crab memes slide by with these though. Like this one, and maybe even this one. Every time I look at them, that's all I can think. But they are a cute sculpt, they do look quite nice. I might not be getting them for my O12, but maybe I'll regret it enough to actually buy them because they look like they're going to be fun to paint. My favourite thing that Corvus Belli announced in this recent video update and on their Facebook before and after Christmas are these kind of like legacy old school tournament packs. So called the Blast from the Past tournament packs, you're almost guaranteed to get an old limited edition out of sculpt model that you maybe missed out on in a previous series if you've been playing for a long time and you wanted something, or if you're a new player and you've seen something that isn't actually available in the store because it was a limited edition or it was a limited run, this is your chance to get it. I reckon you're either guaranteed a Jotun or a Joan, just because they seem to have done a million different variants of those, but I also wouldn't be mad if I got one of those, because they're fantastic. And I now play Pano, so both would be excellent for me. I do joke, of course, but I'm so excited to see what comes in these. I actually have plans for these boxes, so stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see some cool content just focused on these boxes, because I've got some really nice ideas coming up with doing these. I'm very excited. I just want to get my hands on them as soon as possible. Not only did we see that awesomeness, but Carlos teased us with a few other updates for 2022. First off, we're being teased with a new game. Now, is this going to be like Defiance and Tag Raid, where it's going to be a new Kickstarter for 2022? Or are we finally going to be seeing a mainstream game come out of Corvus Belli, the likes of Aristea? Could this be Rem Racer, which has been long discussed, and maybe slightly teased, but we haven't actually seen a lot for it? I'm curious to see what it is. I am excited. I do hope it's not a Kickstarter, because I like the ability to jump on these things after the hype and the Kickstarter has died, and I just don't like paying all my money for a Kickstarter and then waiting a year or two for it to arrive. So I really hope it's a normal mainstream game from Corvus Belli, and that it sits in the main Humosphere Infinity world, like Defiance did and added to the story. Aristea does to a small degree. Really want that, hopeful for it. Teasing us is so cruel, Carlos. What were you thinking? Next, we were teased a new book. Now, I think this is Downfall. It's set on Paradiso, follows a Pano unit, and a lot of fighting there. I think it's Downfall, but again, because of how vague Carlos was, maybe it's not, maybe it's something else, who knows? I think it's Downfall. I'm willing to be proved wrong. We were teased 2 new boxes as well. Now, one of those boxes is going to be a 2-army battle set, like an introduction to Code 1. Now, this rounds off some of the Code 1 factions nicely, but we actually have 3 factions that have yet to be introduced. Well, technically 4. We have Aleph, we have Hak-Islam, we have Tohar, and we technically have NA2. What I think is that this 2-player faction set that's coming this year is likely to be Aleph and Hak-Islam. There's a couple of reasons why I think that. I do think those are the more popular factions out of the 4 that remain. I seem to remember Carlos saying that maybe Tohar would be maybe getting Code 1 rules, but there was also a bit of ambiguity around that. So that's where my money is at, and I am so excited if it is Hak and Aleph. I really want to play Hak. And Aleph, I loathe them because of the things they've done to me on the tabletop, but they're also super cool. Hector was one of my favourite units in 012. He was MVP of many matches, and I can only imagine what an entire faction of basically Hectors is going to be like. So would be excited to try that. This also leads to a potential second rumour for, well, not a rumour, because Carlos said that another box, an action box was coming. Lots of conversation around this in the Infinity community, on the forums and on websites, for a number of reasons. So my personal theory behind this, and it's likely to be wrong, is that we had Sarmada after 012 and Combined Army came out in Wildfire. We then had military orders after Pano and Yujing in Coldstream. We've just had Nomads and Ariadna come out. So could this action pack be a sectorial for one of those 2? Could it be MRRF, so the Muravangian Rapid Reaction Force? Now, that is what the forum seems to think. There's a poll on there of what they think the action pack could be, and that seems to be heavily leaning towards MRRF. But we've also had quite a lot of Cosmoflot stuff. Obviously, the Ariadna lore actually moved forward a little bit with Cosmoflot. Not Cosmoflot. Nomads. No, Ariadna. I don't know why I'm getting so confused. But Cosmoflot. So it could be the Ariadna faction. And now, obviously, we got the whole story that Ariadna had their technology boosted, that they're actually active in space a bit more, with the Starfleet and things like that. So Cosmoflot is actually where my money's kind of leaning to if there's going to be an Ariadnan sectorial coming out rather than MRRF. However, on the Nomad side of things, we could be looking at maybe a Corregidor faction is in the possibility. So again, are we looking at one of the sectorials for one of the 2 boxes? Now that's a high possibility too. But then we could also be looking at one that's maybe not so loved. We've actually had quite a few discontinued lines announced recently. People think it's still Phalanx. That's another popular option. I think that's 2nd place on the forum poll. But I think if Steel Phalanx is likely to get a box, maybe it will come next year after the Hak-Islam 2-player box. Now, please don't take any of this as actual fact, apart from the fact that Carlos announced that there was going to be some boxes coming out. The rest has been pure speculation on my part, but, when you have the ability to throw a camera in front of your face, sometimes you can just chuck opinions at it, and maybe some people will listen and others will just laugh at you and jump into the comments and say why I'm fantastically wrong. Another theory as well, before I depart, around the sectorials is maybe Morats. So again, a whole list of SKUs were announced that were being discontinued, and it quite heavily lent towards Morats. Now, I don't know if Morats are going to get discontinued. I don't know what's actually happening. Sometimes they just whittle down the less popular SKUs. I don't know if you can read too much into SKUs, because I don't know that before MO got announced that SKUs got discontinued. I don't know, and obviously with Starmada that was a new sectorial, so there weren't SKUs to discontinue. So Again, don't know, wild speculation at this point, but isn't it fun? Don't we love a bit of speculation? One of the biggest Infinity community groups on Facebook, WGC. I often recommend that new players join that page and hear what's going on and learn a bit more about Infinity and find players nearby. That has changed its name to IGC. So if you're looking for WGC, it might no longer exist. It's now IGC. It's exactly the same. It's just gone through a bit of a rebrand. I think there's been a changeover of admins, and as a result of that, there's been a small change in name. But same great page, same great platform to learn more about Infinity. So head to IGC if you can't find WGC. CB have also announced, launched a fantastic Code 1 quiz where you can help find your faction by answering a series of questions. They're very odd questions at times, but do it. It's a hoot. I came up as being Pano as my desired sectorial, and as it happens to be, as my desired faction, and as it happens, I am playing Pano at the moment. So I don't know if Pano has influenced my answers, or whether I genuinely was always a Pano player and just didn't know it. Did enjoy playing O12, and I still do. So who knows? Maybe we're not, one faction when we play. Maybe we just need to jump into others as it is. Pano, take the quiz. Tell me what you came up with in the comments below. I'd be really interested to hear. It might also just be weighted towards Pano. We know that Corvus Belli and Carlos, love Pano, even though they were a mistake. And so maybe everyone actually just gets Pano as their answer, and they're trying to push people to it. So let me know in the comments below what you got. That's it for me this time. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate every single view that I get on these little videos, so thank you so much. If you did like this video, please drop it a like. It actually means the world to me when I see those likes come in. And even more, drop some comments in. This is a community game, and I do love hearing what the rest of the community has to say. So thank you so much for your time in watching this. I really do appreciate it, and I will chat to you soon.